Today's guest conversation is with Coach David Wood of Odessa College on episode 57 of the Baseball Forward podcast. Coach Wood, how are you this morning, sir?
Doing awesome. Excited to be here and appreciate the opportunity.
Heck yeah. I got to start it with this. Shout out to Jared Bunn for connecting us. I know you and I had connected on Twitter prior, but I was talking to Bunn the other day, and he and I are buddies, and I think you played with him at Texas State. Is that right?
Yeah, played with him. We were roommates.
Wow.
Yeah, so we stayed in touch, and he reached out randomly. He's like, "Hey, man, you need to get on Ross's podcast." I'm like, "Let's do it, baby. I'm in."
Yeah, man, I love it. So he connected us. It's always so cool to me. I probably say this probably too much, but the baseball world is so small, and it's so much fun seeing like the degrees of separation with all the people that exist in the baseball world. And that's probably one of the most fun parts about what I'm doing at this point is just getting to know guys that, know guys that I know guys that new guys. It's a small world out there, isn't it, Coach?
It's unreal. I mean, even I've moved around a lot in the last 3 years, and all within Texas, but you get to know just more guys. And then now that you're in the JUCO world, you start to realize how many more connections you have even nationwide.
Yeah.
With guys. So it's pretty sweet.
Well, you've got a pretty interesting past. So you're from Long Island, New York. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's another thing about baseball. Hey, I think personally, I think I've been to over 40 states because of the game of baseball. You were from Long Island, New York, and then you've made your way to Texas. I mean, you've been all over the place. So talk to me, Coach Wood at Odessa College. Talk to me a little bit about what baseball has it's been everything for you. It's taken you all over the country. It employs you. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So, the quick rundown is, grew up in New York, played for Matt Sank out of high school at Stony Brook University. Quite honestly, I didn't do what I was supposed to academically. I was not mature enough. Just wasn't where I was supposed to be mentally for the academic side of it. So after the fall of 2004, needed to make a change, and my father had moved down to Texas to start building homes, and so I thought that might be a good change of scenery and try and reset. It's funny because Coach Sank did not want to release me. He thought I was going to be staying somewhere local in New York. I was like, "Coach, I'm actually moving to Texas," and he actually questioned it. He's like, "You're moving to Texas?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, if you're moving to Texas, I'll let you go." And so anyway, moved down here. Went to a tryout at Temple College for Coach McMurtry. He thought it was a prank call when we called him to see if we can get a tryout. And so we show up, do a workout. He's like, "Hey, we got a spot for you if you want it." And I said, "Let's do it." And so fast forward, I finished up my playing career in 2009, played 3 years with the Royals after I finished at Texas State. And the game has given so much to me that, once I was done with playing, I wanted to, my calling was to coach. And so wanted to get right into that. Reached out to Coach Harrington when I was done with my degree and wanted to see if he had anything available at Texas State. And he didn't at the time. But he was willing to make any calls necessary for me to get in. And that led me to St. Edward's University. He knew Coach Rob Penders.
Wow.
And, fast forward 14 years, here we are, man. I mean, I can go through the long version, but I mean, this game has done so much for me, and all I want to do is give back as much as I can.
Man, I love hearing that, talking with Coach Wood at Odessa College. Hey, the regular season NJC AA Region 5 Southwest regular season champions. Did I get that right, Coach?
Yeah, the Whack-Jack champs. Yep. Yes, sir. The Western Junior College Athletic Conference.
Congratulations on that. Congratulations on that. That is no small feat because I'm starting to see a pattern with your career. Lots of winning going on wherever you go. So I'm interested just from a professional standpoint. Man, you've made stops. You've been at every level of college baseball, Division I, St. Edward's Division II, NAIA, St. Thomas. What pulled you to Odessa College? Because when I think of Odessa, I think junior college, good, solid baseball program. Everybody who knows baseball knows Odessa. You hear Odessa, you're like, yeah, they're legit. So I'm curious for you, been all over the place. What drew you to Odessa College from Sanjak?
Yeah, so when I took my first head coaching job at St. Thomas in Houston, they were a newer program, and what happened was, honestly, the reason I was planning on being there for a little bit and kind of, getting a stronger foundation, more than 2 years. But what happened is in my second year, my wife got pregnant with our now third child, our little baby girl, and unfortunately, financially, there had to be a little bit of an uptick for us just to make ends meet and stuff. So I had to start searching, and Sanjak provided an opportunity to not only get into junior college at an elite level, but also allow for us to live a little bit more comfortably. And so did that for a year, and a lot happened there in the year. An accident happened with the head coach, and he had to resign. And so it allowed me to be into that interim head coach role where we, my staff and I over there helped take us to a super regional against Blinn, and we took them to game 3, and then they ended up winning the whole thing. So if you're going to lose to somebody, you might as well lose to the national champ.
That's right.
And so after that season, I didn't make it through the interview process, which is okay. I think God has a plan for us, and
amen.
You never know where you're going to end up. And so as this process kind of panned out, I had gotten a call that Odessa was still looking for a head coach. And I was like, man, like I know Curtis Lay did a phenomenal job at that program in the time that he was there. And so I reached out to Coach Lay, and he connected me with the AD. Fast forward really 2 weeks from that moment, wow. I was accepting the job. And really what drew me here was the community out here is unbelievable. It's a big city. Odessa is bigger than a lot of people think.
That's right.
But the community is insanely strong. And this college wants to support each other. And the president cares about athletics. The AD will do anything for us. It's just a great environment to be in. It's one that they fully support everything we're doing, and it breeds winning.
Who doesn't? Because anybody listening to this, like you always hear, guys going through the recruiting process, wondering what's going to make them happy. And when I think of Odessa, and I think use community is a great word, but I think of like, hey, you're the main event. You want to go somewhere where you win. You want to go somewhere where you're important. You want to go somewhere where you're playing meaningful games. Did it Odessa kind of checked all the boxes on that?
No doubt. I mean, it's got the small town feel in a big city. So you get to do everything you need to do in terms of, having a good place to eat. You got a mall, you got everything, right? And so but it's the small town feel of where, we're doing media day once a week, speaking to the news crews. And so we get a lot of a good positive publicity as long as you're doing what you're supposed to. And so what I tell recruits is once you can get over the lot of nothing that you got to drive through to get here.
Sure. Yeah.
Once you get here, there's a whole new world out here. And there's an airport that your parents can fly into direct in between Midland and Odessa, where they can get on a cheap flight and come over and see you play on a weekend. I mean, it's a really, really good setup.
Man, that's I love hearing that. It's the Midland Odessa area. So anybody's listening to it, guys, if you don't know Midland Odessa area, money, oil, resources. I love how you said, get through the nothing to get to it's like a mirage out in the desert is what I'm imagining.
No doubt. Yeah. I mean, it's a ton of little small towns that you have to slow down through. But once you get out into the open land, you're going 75 and you're cruising. And then, it's really not that bad of a drive. Like if you're willing to, pop on a podcast, listen to some music, do some stuff, it goes fast. But it's getting over that. That is a hurdle for a lot of kids. They want to play closer to home, or they don't know if they can be that far away. And it's well, just get out here. Let's show you our environment, what type of family we're trying to breed out here. And if the guys can see that and get over some of those, small recruiting hurdles, then we're gonna be very successful.
Yeah, absolutely. Already having success. Talking with Coach David Wood of Odessa College, the Wranglers, on episode 57 of the Baseball Forward podcast today. You seem like this is our first time having a conversation. I've seen stuff on you and all that, but this is our first time having a conversation. You seem like you have a light in you. I'm guessing that has to do with some faith. Maybe I'm assuming wrong, but you have a light in you. You have energy. I think I would probably have really liked to, if you were my coach, I would have liked to play for you. So when I say that, am I accurate in my assessment so far?
Yeah, I mean, I tell my guys I'm going to bring as much energy as I expect them to bring on a daily basis. And a lot of what has grown me into who I am is a lot of the failures that I've had to deal with, right? And you learn a lot. And I tell my guys, I will tell you anything that I've done in order for you to have an experience, or maybe you've been through something. I've probably been there. And if I haven't, I'm going to find somebody that has. And like, I just want my guys to understand that they can come in my door at any time of the day and talk to me about anything that's going on, and I'm going to help them through it. But then once we get on the field, I'm going to make them forget about any issues they have. I want them to love showing up to the field every day. I want them to embrace the opportunity that they have and just give everything they have to it. And we're going to go through ups and downs. I mean, no team is perfect. I guess there's a couple teams that are undefeated right now in the postseason in the nation, which is nuts. But it's really hard to do that. And so, you know, we're trying to teach them how to overcome, and we're trying to teach them to live life in a positive manner and kind of have as short-term of memory as possible when something wrong happens. And this team has embraced that ideology. So it's been a phenomenal year with these guys and watching them grow.
Okay, I want to dig in on that, because it's one thing to kind of like say the words, but it's working. So what have you implemented into this program that you feel, hey, the guys are buying in? Give me some specific examples, because there's coaches out there that don't. They're wanting to know. They're wanting to build. They're wanting to build a program. They're needing help with rallying the troops, whatever it is. What has worked for you specifically?
So we've done something this year. I've always talked about culture, teamwork. We, like you said, we always talk about it, but this year we've implemented something new, and it's a little bit outside the box, but I attest a lot of our success to it. We have now this spring started doing weekly classroom sessions and listening to audiobooks. And so every week for an hour and a half, once a week, we will get we've done 3 Jon Gordon books. And we're finishing up a book today, actually, when we're done with this session, about, it's called The Twin Thieves by Steve Jones and Lucas Jaden. And it's a book that directly we're trying to embrace fear of failure and fear of judgment and how we can overcome those two things. That's what the Twin Thieves are. And so anyway, so what we're doing is training the mindset, training how we want to approach the game and how we want to be successful. And I am willing to sacrifice some on-field time to really dig into the mental side of the game. And our guys are now becoming more comfortable with opening up in a classroom session, because it's closed doors. Like we are in there. You know, if guys need to get something off their chest, there's been some tough sessions where guys are not necessarily calling each other out, but we are addressing the weaknesses. We are addressing some of the things that can sink a ship instead of, keep the ship afloat. So like, we're just, we're in a good headspace, man. This team loves each other, and they're going to do whatever they can for each other. And I really think it's a lot due to the fact of the trainings that we're doing in the classroom.
I feel it through the screen. I feel it. I feel the energy. I feel like the positive energy and the belief. What brought you? What made you say this year, hey, I'm going to try this? What was there a breaking point for you, or you're just finally like, hey, I'm going to try something different?
I'm always throwing ideas off of my assistants. We're bouncing ideas off each other, and we went to the coaches convention and we listened to Jon Gordon. He spoke this year, and he had a little booth, and we went to it. And I've always loved his stuff. His books are incredibly easy reads. One of my favorites is The Hard Hat, which we did go through this spring, about the 21 ways to be a great teammate. And so we talked to this guy, and resource-wise, like, I would love to bring them in and actually do the team building, but sometimes the money's not there at the junior college level.
Jared Bunn, fix that.
What's that?
I said Jared Bunn, help him out. Anyway, keep going.
But and so we I decided to dive into the books on my own. We started with the Energy Bus because that's what that that guy we were talking to. He asked us. He's like, "Well, where are you at?" He's like, "Well, we're first time coaching staff over there." He's like, "Energy Bus, do the Energy Bus." And so I listened to it. We started with that one and just continued to build off of it. And so in my first 3 years as a head coach, like I said, I was trying to implement ideas, but you know how it is. Like, it's like, when you get something told to you by your dad and then the coach tells you the same thing. And It's like, "Hey, son, I told you that," it's the same kind of issue we're in right now. It's like, okay, the coach is telling it to us, but now we're going to hear it right from the author. We're going to hear it from a different source.
Sure.
And hopefully it hits it home a little bit more. And we get to open up the floor and talk about it. And so it's, like I said, man, it's just been a complete game changer for our program.
That is amazing to hear. And I hope to the coaches out there listening, see, that's what's the baseball community to me. There's so many good guys in the game, and there's so many guys that want to impact it. Obviously, you're one of them. And nobody has all the answers. And I think it's kind of cool when we have conversations like this that someone can take that and implement it. You always hear the baseball is 90% mental, 10% physical, or the other half is whatever Yogi said. But think about that. If we truly believe, I believe it is. My career, I won't get into it, but 100% was mental once you get to a certain level. So it's got to be a conscious effort to say, train the mind. I mean, why do you think we haven't, as a baseball world or community, why? I think we're starting to embrace it a little bit more, but
no doubt. Yeah.
It makes sense. Train the brain.
Yeah. If you had asked me 10 years ago if we needed to do classroom sessions and train, I'd be like, "You're nuts. Like, well, let's go get in the cage and go dive into a swing."
Yeah.
This generation is different. They need different ideas. The instant gratification, the instant desire with this generation on expecting results so quickly, you have to break it down a different way for them. You can't teach them the same way anymore. And so, like I said, my first year, I was a little bit more of a short fuse guy where I might be a little bit more angry when something wasn't going right. And in my growth as a head coach, I've learned that and it's actually working hand in hand with, I got a 12-year-old that I'm training too, who's coming up and playing baseball. And there's so much similarities in training a 12-year-old and an 18 to 19-year-old. Like, it's the exact same thing. If you yell at a 12-year-old, they're going to fold. If you yell at an 18 to 19-year-old, there's the possibility of them folding unless you have their trust, unless they understand why you're doing things the way you're doing them. If they are just like, if you're just barking down their throat for making a mistake and you haven't earned their respect, they're not going to play for you. And so I did a little bit of that with my kid at a younger age, and now me and him have a much better coach-player relationship, and that has helped me transform on the college side of things, because like, these kids are vulnerable, man. Like, they don't want to be sometimes, but they want to be loved. They want to be cared for. Coddled is not the right word, because we do not coddle our kids. We love our guys.
Yeah, good point. Wow.
We want to show them how much we care. If I have to pull a guy and for not following the standards of our program, I'm going to bring him up and talk to him about it and put my arm around him and explain why and make sure he understands. I'm not just going to do it without reason or cause. Like, they're going to understand why. Now, in the moment, if it's in the middle of a game, I might have to wait till the next half inning to talk to you, but I'm going to bring you up and explain, "Hey, man, do you understand why?" And allow them to try and answer that question. And if they're not really understanding it because they're still angry, then we talk. We both get level heads and try to work through it together. So just, this generation, I'll go off on tangents, but this generation has to be to be taught differently. I mean, when you look at coaches that, you watch a lot of select ball, you watch a lot of youth baseball, and the expectation levels for kids, in my opinion, at times are way too high.
Amen.
You have to play for a championship every single weekend you go out, and it's not. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I think it's skewed. I think we need to remember what's important, and it's making the kids love the game, want them to keep showing up every day and with a smile on their face, and then teaching them to win through development. And that's what we're trying to do at the junior college level. We have won this year based on the development of our guys over the course of the year.
And I'm sure some of your guys will probably listen to this podcast. Do you have an example in your head? And I'm sure you want to say hi to, or you want to credit everybody, but in your head as a coach, for the audience, I mean, is there a specific example that stands out to you? Like, the kid put the work in, he's growing because he's embracing the learning. Does anything stand out with any of the guys on your team right now?
Yeah. So the one that I can really speak to, that he's a freshman, he's from Puerto Rico. So he came here, not speaking a lot of English. So we had to work through that together. And that's one of those things that I embrace too, because in pro ball, when you have all these Dominicans and Venezuelans and, just Latin American kids from all over, they are in a different world. And like, I embrace that idea of, trying to help, let's teach each other how to communicate better. Let's learn. I need to learn some Spanish. You need to learn some English. And we're going to speak two languages at once and figure out how we can make it work. And so this guy, Alejandro Rivera, I signed him this summer when I got the job, and he was an outfielder that came in extremely raw. Had a really, really tough fall. I think he batted 120 in the fall. Like, it was bad. Wow. And he was just trying to figure everything out. And so wasn't one of our starters this spring, but never wavered, never stopped trying to just get after it and play hard. And so we gave him an opportunity in the opening weekend of conference. We were down 6-2, 6-1 or 6-2 in the bottom of the seventh against Midland. Midland ranked top 5 at the time. He comes up, no fear, laces a double down the right field line. Okay, gets a rally going. We end up tying the game and losing the game in extra innings, 7-6. And so that moment for him not only jump started us, but it jump started him. And so moving forward, the next day we're like, okay, or the next game, I'm sitting there with my coaches. I'm like, we got to put Alejandro in the lineup. We got to see if we can do it more than just one at bat. And he hasn't looked back ever since. Now, he also has still needed to learn what true, because we teach hard 90s. We teach this idea of we're just going to be tougher and play faster than the opponent. And at times, he's not run hard 90s. He's felt sorry for himself when he rolls over a ball to second. And one instance, it was probably about a month after, he rolls over a ball to second, doesn't run it out. His family's in town. They flew up from Puerto Rico to see him. They surprised him, and I had to pull him. I have to stick to it. I can't just keep you in because your parents are here or, whatever. And I brought him up and I said, Ali, do you understand why? He's like, yes, coach, I didn't run hard. He's like, I'm sorry. I was like, let's fix this. It's okay. Like, you're going to be in the next game, but I had to pull you in this moment. And so ever since then, he's running hard. Like, he has grown tremendously, but it's our consistency in what we're doing, and hopefully what our guys understand and what we're trying to preach is we are not going to waver. I don't care how good you are. You're coming out of the game if you don't follow our standards. If it hurts us in the moment, unfortunately, it's going to hopefully hurt the individual that got pulled more, knowing that he doesn't want to let his team down again. So it's just that idea that they love each other and are going to fight for each other and don't want to let each other down. That's what we're trying to breed. Man,
I think of conversations that I've had recently. I think of one that I had with my wife last night, and we were talking about just showing up. Like, the majority of people, me included sometimes, when I'm not at my best, it's because I didn't put the work in. And I love hearing, because your message is show up, be consistent, know what we can expect from you. I want you to, when I say this statement to you, and I say the guy that you like coaching the most is the guy that you know what to expect from. What does that mean to you?
It's, every coach wants the most talented guy, right? I mean, we all want to go get the 5-star kid, the guy that's 6'2", 190 pounds and checks all the boxes from a physical standpoint. Yep. But there's so much more to this. And when you look at our team, they are not that. Like New Mexico Junior College and Midland, they're insanely physical teams. Even other teams, Amarillo, El Paso, like teams in our league are more physical than us, but we have more of a determination and a fight and a want to than some of these other teams, in my opinion. And so, but all we want to look for is guys that, and it's hard to do, right? It's hard to find those intangibles when you're recruiting them, but like guys that just want to love showing up. When we talk to a coach, we don't want to feel like it's a forced thing out of his mouth that he's a good player. We want it to be immediate, where it's like, hey coach, this guy's going to run through a wall for you, man, no matter what. Like, or, talking to other coaches that have played against kids that we're recruiting, like, hey, what did you see on this guy? Because you know how it is, man. Like, select coaches are going to sometimes tell you what you want to hear. High school coaches may sometimes tell you what you want to hear. They're not going to tell you what's really going on unless you know them and have a really good relationship with them. So I like to talk to coaches that have played against kids, because like they're going to give you, they don't care. They don't got nothing to talk in the fight.
Yep.
Hey, Johnny is lazy, man. Like, he's super talented, but he wouldn't run down the line against us. And he was pouting and treating his teammates poorly when we played him. Like, so like well, that's going to be tough for me, because like, we feel like the way we're doing things, we can get through to kids, but at the 2-year level, it's sometimes a little bit harder. You have to accelerate it more. So the more kids that we can find that love to show up, that give that extra little bit of energy, and maybe have some talent to go along with it, I'll go to war with those guys. We can win with those guys.
You tell the young guys, I have a 10-year-old and an 11-year-old that play baseball. I'm sure you say it to your son, 12 years old. You hear it all over baseball parks for old baseball guys like us all the time. You never know who's watching. And what you just said to me was a real example of, dude, Coach Wood, if you're going to be on his team, he's cross-checking, not the fluff. He's cross-checking the enemy for you. And what a brilliant, I've heard it before, but think about what that means for the kids out there, that, hey, if it's Texas, you're in a playoff game. What is it, Tuesday? It's sometime this weekend. You're in a playoff game and you roll one over like Allie did, and you decided not run it out. That might be the difference between Coach Wood saying yes or no on you.
That and that, those things, the simple thing of a running it out. Yes. Hopefully that's a one-time thing. If it continues to perpetuate and it keeps happening, then yes, that's tough. But really the stuff that wears me out, Ross, is when you watch guys treat their teammates poorly. Like, I can't stand when a kid shows up his teammate and doesn't take accountability and ownership of his own actions. Yes. Like, hey, man, yeah, okay, the guy in right field didn't make the play for you, but you threw the ball right down the middle and allowed the ball to be hit over the kid's head in right field, and you expect him to make that play when you didn't execute your pitch. Or, your catcher doesn't block a ball that you bury a breaking ball 5 feet in front of home plate on, and it ends up scoring a run. Listen, bub, you didn't execute your pitch, man. But if you're showing up your teammate, that you want to talk about immediate, like, X off the list. Yes, that's happening. If you don't run a ball out, you felt sorry for yourself. I want to see how you bounce back from that. Give me that next at bat. Show me how you want to respond from that. Are you going to go in and slam your helmet and feel sorry for yourself, or are you going to be like, hey, you know what? I screwed up. I'm going to be better on the next one. Because we're human beings. We're going to make mistakes. I'm not going to cross a kid off for one lazy effort. But if it's continual and your attitude is just negative, I'm a positive guy, man. I'm trying to change how I am on a daily basis. I want to see positivity. I want to see how you handle failure. Can you roll over a ground ball and jog to first base, but then go out and be the most energetic guy on defense, and I would never know that you rolled over your previous at bat? Or are you going to go out there and pout about? And that's going to be a problem for me. I don't have time to feel sorry for myself. And you shouldn't have time to feel sorry for yourself. We have to move on. This game sucks. It is so hard.
It is.
Like the biggest beatdown. You have more time to think about your screw-ups than any other sport out there, really, besides golf. You hit a bad shot in golf, and I'm walking down the fairway trying to go chase my ball 30 yards into the woods, and I'm trying, you got time. But even in baseball, you have 3 innings to figure out how the heck do you fix that last at bat that was bad?
Yep.
You may not get another ground ball after you make an error. Like, so there's just, I mean, we got to dive into making this right. Like baseball, like, so what? That's our, I say, so what?
Yep.
50 or 60 times a game. Like, so what? Next pitch. So what? Next play, whatever. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things, that can get a kid marked off. But for me, the main one is treat your teammates right, treat your coach right, treat your family and your friends right after a game, and don't have your girlfriend wheeling your bag and stuff, right? But really, I mean, that type stuff to me, I can help train you to run hard. I can do that. I can get through to you on that because we base run every single day.
Love it.
Every day we're base run. But the treating your teammates right, I feel like I can fix it, but I don't necessarily want to take the chance that it's going to take time away from the guys that do it right. Because I don't want to waste time trying to get one guy to buy in when 50 guys are already bought in. Does that make sense?
100%. And what kind of comes to my mind is if you're, it's a choice. And if you're going to be a butthead teammate, you're not going to have the grace. You're not going to get the forgiveness from your teammates. It's going to be a short leash. But when you're always pulling for your guys and you serve your teammates and you put them first, you're forgiven. There's grace. And it's such an easier baseball life to live. That's something that like kind of comes to my mind is, you said it earlier, this game sucks and it's so hard and you make it worse times 10 if you're a jerk on the field because your mistakes aren't getting covered up like some of the other guys on the teams aren't going to get. Your mistakes are amplified. People are rooting against you. But just think if you're a good teammate and you boot one, hey Ross, no worries, let's go, let's get the next one, right? Is that kind of the message?
100%. Like when I got here, it was the team. They didn't make the postseason last year. There was a little bit of the guys from the feedback that I got was that the sophomores from last year were very much you guys are like telling the freshmen that are now sophomores, you guys need to do this because this is how it is. Like we're not going to be come with me teammates. We're going to be dictator teammates, and so we had to eliminate that. But the sophomores understood how bad of a taste that left in their mouth that they didn't want to be like that, and so we fed off of that, right? And so we preach love, serve, and care. Every time I put out a tweet, one of my hashtags is LSC, and it came from Jon Gordon's book, The Carpenter, and we 100% live by that motto where we're going to love, serve, and care for each other. We're not going to, if there's baseballs in the cages that one guy hit, there's going to be 3 or 4 guys in there helping him pick them up just because we're going to serve each other. We're going to be there for each other. We're going to do things differently than a lot of teams that they've been a part of. Because I don't like the norm. Like the norm needs to change, and that's what we're trying to do here. We want guys to do it for each other, even though at the junior college level that can be very hard because every kid's goal at junior college is to get here to get to the next 4-year program. Yeah. So there has to be a internal selfish motive for yourself to get better, but we're going to do it within the team concept for each other, make each other look really good, so that all of us can garner attention.
If I'm a 4-year school, I'm a Division I school, and I'm paying attention to the big dogs. I'm paying attention to the Odessas of the world, Midlands, McLennans. And if there's a coach that can bring a team together in that hyphenated time frame, to me, that is special because it's so abbreviated and it's got to happen. Like you said, it's got to happen kind of expedited and quick. Is that one of the biggest obstacles for you for being at a 2-year school is getting the right mix and making sure you don't let the poison in, making sure that, because I think junior college baseball is very similar to pro ball. It's just that's the stigma of it is what's next for me. And I'm hearing the complete opposite and I feel it. Is that one of the biggest obstacles that you have kind of as you navigate the 2-year waters?
Yeah, I think, yes. JUCO can become very transactional, right? I mean, the kids want to be, I have a group of guys. I think what's different, unique about our team too, is we only have one Division I bounce back on our team.
Holy
A lot
cow.
of junior colleges have, and the really good ones have 7, 8, 9, 10, 5. I mean, McLennan, Weatherford, they all have a ton of guys that have come from a Division I program, and they are all extremely successful and have been successful for a very long time. I'm not saying I'm not going to take Division I bounce backs. I think there's talent there that, maybe the fit wasn't right, or, they need to get more innings, or the coach from a program hits me up and says, hey, this kid needs a year. Those we'll look at, but I'm not going to, I want to have guys that maybe got overlooked in high school.
Yes.
Chip on the shoulder guys that are hungry. Not saying that Division I bounce backs aren't, but there's a little bit of there's sometimes entitlement that comes with Division I bounce backs.
Yes.
Hey, I was at a Division I. Now I'm at junior college. I'm a dude.
I should be starting. Yep.
JUCO baseball is real, especially in the West, especially in Region 5, especially in Texas. So, the hurdle, like, this is only my second year in junior college, coming from San Jac, now at Odessa. I'm still learning a lot of the, ways around junior college and the ins and the outs and stuff. But I want to approach this not necessarily as a junior college, but just as a good baseball coach. I want to provide them something unforgettable, with that when they leave here, it was the best experience that they ever had. Even if they go to the SEC or, the Big 12, I want them to look back and say, my time at Odessa was the best 2 years of baseball that I ever had. Not for the winning per se. We want to win. There's no doubt. But for the things that they learned, for the call 7 years down the road where they're like, Coach, it didn't really stick with me at the time, but you've helped me, be a better husband, be a better son, whatever it is. That's what I do this for. And that's what I want for these guys. I mean, they have a long journey in front of them. They have a long life to lead. I just want them to be a little bit stronger when they leave here.
Wow. And you know what? Talking with Coach Wood of Odessa College, the Wranglers, on the Baseball Forward podcast today. Jared Bunn, I go back to him. The one, we have a mutual friend. When he described you, Ross, you have to get to know him. He's one of the most special human beings that's out there. And that comes from, you said transactional. You played, it was relational to you. Those guys meant something to you. That's in your DNA. And if I'm a kid listening to this podcast, it's easy if you just pay attention. It's easy to know the difference between transactional and relational. If you're going through the recruiting process, pay attention to the Division I bounce backs. Pay attention to the roster turnover. Pay attention to how many guys they're committing. I want my boys, if they choose to go on and play and I don't even care. Just in high school, I want my boys playing for a man that cares more about. It's not just about baseball, and that's what I'm hearing from you. And it's been that way since you were in your playing days.
Yeah, I mean, I was, and like I said at the beginning, going through my journey and stuff, it took me a lot of time to realize I needed to really internally be better at a lot of different things. I had to take care of my studies better, and a lot of my experiences throughout life have brought me to who I am, and my wife and my kids are my rock. When I leave the field and leave the school, I go straight home, and that is what I do. Like, I don't need to do anything else. I mean, my life is set, and my journey still has a long way in front of me. But so many people along the way I've taken snippets from, whether good or bad. My roommates, Heath Keel, Kyle Jones, Jared Bunn at Texas State. I mean, those guys, they're forever. And with life, like, you don't stay in touch maybe as much as you would like, but like, I could get on a phone with Bunn right now and act like we didn't skip a beat, right? And those, those type things I cherish. And it's made, though, all those experiences have helped mold me into the man I am today. And I am still trying to change. I am still trying to become better because I'm not there. But I want my guys, I tell my guys that. I want them to understand that if I screw up, you're going to be the first to know. I'm not going to act like my crap doesn't stink and that I'm better than you. If I do something wrong, you will know. Like I got a guy picked off in a big moment against El Paso. Big moment. Right in front of my face, picked off at third base. And I did not say a word to the kid because it's not his fault. I brought him up after the game. We lost in extra innings. And I said, guys, that loss is on me 100%.
Wow.
But I need you to pick me up. Like, this is a big moment. Like, let's go to war. Let's get it back. And we ended up winning the next game and splitting the series. But I'm okay with owning stuff now. I used to not be. I used to be the guy that's like, nah, man, it ain't my fault. I did what I was supposed to.
Guilty, yep.
But, men don't like to be vulnerable. I'm okay with it now. I don't care. Like, if I screw up, I'm going to be the first to say it. And so I'm just trying to be the best version of myself for these kids that I'm in charge of, because like these parents are handing them over to me for 2 years, and it's my job to leave those parents feeling really good about where their son's going, because I keep my parents involved. I think it's very important to not just take your son and say, get away, don't talk to me. Like I send out weekly newsletters to the parents on updates, and I want them to know what's going on behind the scenes. I send them, the books that we're going through, and a lot of our parents have ended up reading the books. And so this is a family culture that we're trying to build here.
I freaking love hearing that, and it's firing me up. I wish I had eligibility. Talking with Coach David Wood of Odessa College, the Wranglers, episode 57 of the Baseball Forward podcast. Hey, this just comes to my mind because I got asked by my son the other day. We're sitting on the couch Sunday watching some baseball. Hey, Dad, did you ever intentionally throw at somebody? I was like, does a bear poop in the woods? So I want to talk about something light like that with you, because I feel like you had that stink in your neck. Am I right about that? Is that what you said war a couple times? You weren't scared to do what you had to do when you played, correct?
Yeah. So I'll give you one instance, and this is at Texas State. We are playing. We're playing St. John's University. We're playing them over. Oh man, I think we're at Rice. We're playing them in a little round robin, and the kid that's at the plate, I played summer ball with him. Okay. The kid prior hit a bomb and pimped it, and anyway. And so my catcher, Dawid Bednarik, he's flashing me the middle finger. I mean,
let's go.
Hey, you're hitting him, and Gino's in the box. I'm like, gosh dang it! I was like, all right, let's go. And so I go up and in. I miss him.
Okay.
And I didn't mean to go up and in, but I went up and in. And Dawid, he's all fired up. He's throws the middle finger down again. I'm like, all right, let's go. And I peg him right in the hip. Didn't leave anything, but I wasn't necessarily the guy that wanted to run one up and in. I wasn't a guy that pimped home runs. Like I did once, and I can give you that story in a second too, because my on deck guy got pretty upset. But but if a teammate needed me to do it, they felt disrespected, I had their back. I 100% was going to do that. Now, I don't necessarily preach that to my guys right now.
Yep.
However, if the moment is something where like we are being disrespected, I do not want my guys to just fold. I think there's a way to do things. The other moment, I pimped the home run at Corpus Christi hard. That was the only one I pimped in college. And
I need to hear this. So like you got it. It felt good. It was gone off the bat.
Best one, but and I don't do it a lot. I knew I hit some bombs, my senior year that I knew, but this one, for whatever reason, I walked it off a little bit, and so I step on home plate, and Aaron Garza's on deck, and he's like, "Hey man, and there's other words in there. I'm not gonna say all the words, but he's like, hey, if I get hit, I'm gonna kick your stinking booty right here," and I'm like, my bad, so never pinked one again because that dude was a unit. He was a really good player, and I didn't want to.
Did Garza get hit?
No, he did not. Thank goodness.
Then we're good. We're good. Thank God. See, you took away from the celebration in the dugout with the boys because you had to celebrate out on the field. But I was the same way, man. I like I want to believe that I played the game with ultimate respect and ultimate reverence for the guys that played before me. And it's like you pass it on. I miss that. I miss that because I would do the same thing. They're like one of them asked, "Can I throw at a guy?" And I'm like, no, guys, no, you don't just throw at guys and throw at guys. There's an etiquette to the game, right? But if I say that now, if I said, I just put it out there, I will never tell my boys to hit somebody on purpose, but because I'll go to jail for it. That's the world we live in, and now I can't make sense of it. I can't make sense of the amount of pimping going on in baseball. It doesn't make sense to me because when I see it, it just fires me up and I want to hit the next guy. But that it's the ever-changing world of baseball. Talking with David Wood, Odessa College. Coach, couple more minutes here. I wanted to say really appreciate your time because let's get into this just briefly. You guys have the postseason and it starts on Thursday. Is it Thursday?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yep. Oh, so these guys are going out there. They got Cisco coming in. Is that right? You guys are at your ballpark. So how you feeling? What are we thinking? I know it's going to be a battle. That bracket does not look fun. What are your thoughts kind of going into the weekend?
You know, we feel good. I mean, we're in a good headspace. The practices this week have been great. Cisco's a good club. I mean, David White's been doing a really good job over there for a really long time. They have some really good offensive pieces, and they have a few starters that are really dangerous. We have to be on our game, but at the same time, like we spend a lot of time on self-preparation. We don't do a ton on like opponent scouting reports. I don't want to psych our guys out. Like I want to be really good at what we're good at, and which is, you know, have a really, you know, disciplined approach to the plate. Throw the ball over the plate on the mound. Like what we've done really well at this year is just throwing strikes. I think we have 177 walks on the year, and in the West, free bases lead to a lot of runs. Like I've told my guys, I would rather you give up solo bombs all game long instead of 2 walks and a 3-run bomb. So like our pitching staff's in a good space or a good headspace. I don't want our guys to now change the approach now that we're in playoffs. Like it's still baseball. It's still the game that we've been playing all year. We took care of business in the regular season, and we just got to keep playing good baseball, good clean baseball in the postseason. And whatever happens, happens. I mean, this is not the end of the road for a lot of these guys. We hope to play into Grand Junction, and obviously, but getting out of Texas in junior college is a burr. Like there's only 2 teams that come out of Texas. So one from the West or one from Region 5 and one from Region 14. So it's almost its own World Series in a way. So
it is. Good way to put it.
Big.
I'm excited to see how it goes. I have so much respect for just all these schools out here. There's so many programs out here just killing it. Dudes everywhere. All right, I want to talk to you baseball forward. Our motto is my business partners, Coach Jim Schwanke, Coach Gary Ward. I mean, that still blows my mind that I Coach Ward. I'm like a legend. Coach Schwanke's the man too. Shout out Coach Jim. Elevating the next generation. It matters to me. It matters to those guys. It matters to you that we are doing this the right way. It's not negativity. It's about lifting guys up, lifting coaches up, lifting the parents up. And it's what can we do to help this game? So when I say specifically to the players, when I say Coach Wood, Odessa College, what's your advice to elevate the next generation? What comes to mind?
For me, I'm going to start at the youth level on this because I think that, and I hope a lot of youth coaches and parents, you know, tune into your podcast and stuff, because I just want to see the game. I want to see it be based around development more. I want to see parents, see coaches allow their kids to fail and then teach them how to overcome failure, not yell at them because they failed. That to me is one of the biggest things that's hurting our game today, is that we want so badly for them to be successful that we are hindering their growth, because all they want to do is they want to impress us. And if we are constantly saying, you're not good enough, you're doing this wrong, then they're never going to understand what what it feels like to be good. And so teaching them the game through how to overcome failure, through how to overcome these twin thieves that I talked about earlier, the fear of failure, the fear of judgment, and then the third one is fear of comparison, which is a huge one too. We don't need to worry. Like, let's embrace how much we love the game and how we can get better at it instead of the failure in it, the judgment in it, and the comparison in it. Because, like, if you are constantly being judged or you're worried about the judgment that's going to come down on you, it's going to be really hard to play this game. If you're worried about comparing yourself to the kid on the other team or the nationally ranked 11U, blah, 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 you're in trouble.
That's right.
Nobody cares about 11U national rankings at the college level. We care about where they're going to be in 7 or 8 years in high school. So I want kids to know that it's okay to fail. It's okay to struggle, but it's how are you going to turn that into a positive? We talk a lot about, with our team right now, we have events and responses, and the events that happen aren't always going to be positive, but the response to that event is what's going to equal the outcome. So we have above the line responses, which are positive responses, and we have below the line, where we're worried about that event. Well, that worry on that event is going to lead to a bad outcome. So we are constantly saying, hey, okay, this event happened. Here's how we're going to bounce back. We're good. Like, we're okay. And so be that way. Be the coach, be the parent that teaches your kid how to have a really positive response to an event instead of telling them that they suck or telling them that they're not making the swing or not making the pitch because they're mechanics. And please do not yell at your kid during a game. Just allow them to play. Talk to them after. But it's hard enough. This game is hard enough to have 15 voices coming at them from different angles. Allow them to make mistakes. And if you need to go out and call a timeout as a coach and go talk to them, do it. But don't yell at them. I mean, so that's what I would say in terms of the youth. But in terms of the high school kids, it's really the same message.
Yeah.
I mean, just go play the game you love and learn how to overcome. It's as simple as that. And how you do that, there's a lot of different methods. But just know that it's okay. And this game is still fun, and it's still the game that you grew up playing. And if you have the chance to play it in college, embrace it and love the journey.
The guys that are going to win this weekend in that bracket that you guys are playing, in that bear of a bracket that you guys are playing, it'll be the team that plays the loosest, the most carefree, judgment-free, and they just go play the game. The guys that are worried about what girlfriend thinks, what scouts out there, that's what I'm hearing you say, and it applies from 8 years old. Hearing you say to the parents, like, guys, sometimes I'm like, did you ever play the game? And then even to some coaches, I'm like, did you forget that how hard this is? Because I've been guilty of it in the way past, coach. You gotta know right now, I don't yell at these kids. Just mind when the doors are closed. Just joking. But
hey, there's an accountability measure to everything.
It's supposed to be fun. All right, I'm gonna finish on this question because I'm curious and I always like to know. I love music. I want to know what kind of music you listen to. Let's start with this. What did you walk out to back in the day?
I had a few different songs. I like to mix it up. Young Jeezy, Put On. Was a song of my third year of pro ball. Fergalicious was one of my walkout songs.
Yeah.
When I moved to Texas, it was "I'm From New York" by Ja Rule.
Yes.
Being from New York, I had to throw that in there.
Yep.
When I was in high school, I used to come out to Another One Bites the Dust as a pitcher because I wanted to really, I had some teams that I aggravated with that song. But so by Queen, I've had a lot. And as for music, I like to think I love to mix it up. I'll have a day that I want to listen to rap. I'll rock, some, EDM, whatever it is. I mean, I don't necessarily stick to one. But I'll even listen to some Latin music. I don't care. I don't know what they're saying, but I'm gonna listen to it. So.
It makes me happy when I hear it. So when you guys are out taking pregame, you're out taking BP, and you're throwing in the speakers on, what music is blaring through the speakers out in Odessa? Is it a mix of everything, or is it country? What are we listening to out there?
If I'm feeling like a chill day and I want to have good vibes, it'll be country just because that's Texas, baby. But EDM a lot. Our guys are feeling that, and then when the Latin guys get over it, you got your salsa, you got your I eat it up. I love it.
Yeah.
I just like it clean. You never know who's going to walk into the ballpark. Just make sure it's a clean mix. We have randos that walk up and just people from Odessa that'll sit down and watch practice. So I don't want anything too derogatory on there, but
man, what a time of your life. I hope, and I say this just because I'm observing from the outside. I hope you're enjoying it as much as you should be, because man, this is some good stuff that you're going through, and these are the moments that you've worked for this weekend, and I wish you the best. I'm thankful that we got to connect. Let's do this. Coach David Wood, Odessa College. You guys are playing Cisco. Go take care of business tomorrow. Close out with us, and then I'll say goodbye and we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, no, Ross, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to be on here. This is I want to bring as much light to Odessa that it deserves, and that's what this is all about for me. I want to thank all. There's a laundry list full of guys for getting me to where I am. Coach Ty Harrington, Coach Rob Penders when I worked for him for 10 years at St. Ed's.
Wow,
Matt Sank, who tried to mold me. I just didn't allow myself to be molded at the time. Coach Craig McMurtry at Temple. And the list goes on, man. But so many guys in pro ball had a huge effect on me. Patrick Anderson, he's managing in pro ball right now. Still stay in touch with him. But there's so many people that have affected me and have made me into the man I am today. And can't thank y'all enough. And Ross, like I said, man, I really appreciate the opportunity to get Odessa's name out there. And we hope to just blow this place up.
That's what Baseball Forward is. You know where you came from. That's what Baseball Forward is. You're putting this stuff to the next generation. We salute you. Coach David Wood, Odessa College, Baseball Forward, episode 57. See you guys.